just before we came on air, I sat down with Zoe and I started by asking her what her memories were from that special World Cup final.
I think, first of all, the biggest memory is arriving at Twickenham and coming off the bus. I think to see the kind of stands filled, the fan zone absolutely ram-packed with people.
It was a record crowd, wasn't it?
It was a record crowd, and then just walking off that bus, it was actually a moment of immersion, and just seeing how many people had come to support women's rugby, was just a fantastic moment for the sport.
Yeah. Was that as important to you as the win? Just to see that overwhelming support for the women's game?
I think definitely that was a big factor around it. Like when we were preparing as a squad, we spoke about it wasn't just about having the success of winning. We also wanted to inspire a nation, inspire the next generation of young women, young sports people. And I think seeing that at Twickenham on the final day was like an incredible feeling to think, wow, we've actually built something so phenomenal that hopefully now it can just project on and we can get young women into rugby and playing and become Red Roses one day.
Yeah, I was watching it on the TV like everyone else, but I had a couple of friends who were lucky enough to be there and they took their young daughters. Oh, and they just said it was a really celebratory atmosphere, obviously, because you just won the World Cup, but it was also really emotional as well, particularly for the young girls watching. And England had sort of, well, you'd sewn up the game, hadn't you? You knew with around 15 minutes to go that you'd won the World Cup. What was it like trying to keep that emotion in check until the final whistle?
Yeah, I think I kind of realised about 12 minutes on the clock to go when Alex Matthews had scored her second try. I kind of came back to receive the kickoff and I seen my family in the crowd and they were like giving it the big come on, and I literally like welled up and I was like, not now, Zoe, literally 12 more minutes
to focus.
Yeah, just stay in the game. And yeah, it was like, I think it was a time where we could slightly ease off a little bit and just enjoy what was the atmosphere in those last 10 minutes of the game.
Yeah, and then that final whistle.
That final whistle.
I bet that's the blurry bit, isn't it?
That is the blurry bit, but honestly, I just had so many feelings that it just all came out in that moment, just being able to celebrate with the special group that we have and to do it in front of 2,000 people, and the fact that it had kind of built up to that moment for not just the World Cup that we've seen, but for the years and years before that as well, like all that emotion just coming to that one moment.
Yeah, it's not an overnight success,
no,
is it, by any means? And you have had some time to celebrate. I know you went away with your husband, but you also celebrated with your fantastic teammates as well, a couple of nights in Ibiza. Tell me what you can about that, because the key thing about this squad, this team, is how close you are in terms of, you know, playing the game, but also being ambassadors for the sport. You know exactly what you're doing and how many young girls, women, boys look at what you're doing and, you know, take your lead. So you're all bonded in that way as well. What were the celebrations like?
I think from the moment that final whistle went, the celebrations begun. And yeah, we had kind of 3 days as a team to celebrate it all together. We did various things like Lady Gaga, we had Battersea Power Station.
Oh, great.
But obviously the highlight, we wanted to spend more time together. So, yeah, booked a 4-day trip to Ibiza.
Everybody came back unscathed, all good?
Everyone came back unscathed, just about. But a few sore heads, but...
Yeah, well, there was no time to recover from any sort of sore head because you've more or less gone straight back into club rugby. You were back, in fact, Monday this week. What was that like, going from literally top of the world back to club rugby? Although it's not, you know, a step down because you've won 3 consecutive titles with your home club, Gloucester Hartpury.
I'll be honest, it was a really weird feeling because obviously you're on such a high and then you have to realise that life does actually go on and you've got other things to now focus on. So, yeah, it was a bit of a mishmash of emotions, but I think it's been nice because we've had a little refresh up at club. We've got new coaches in, we've got some new girls in. So actually, when I did get into club and then started training, it just became natural again. And then you set your new goals, your new focuses ahead of the year. But yeah, it's just slowly getting used to it again.
Yeah. What's your focus now? Because as I said, with your club rugby, you've won 3 consecutive Premiership titles. You've just won the World Cup. I mean, what else is there to win for you? What's your focus now in the game?
Well, I think one thing that really helps is the competitiveness that is kind of instilled in me. So still wanting to get those wins and to push on and to be a better athlete as well. And I think it helps that women's rugby, we've kind of seen how good it can get over this World Cup, and we want to progress our performances as well. And there's not a ceiling on women's rugby. We can go as far as we want, and we can get better and better. We can get more stronger, more powerful, faster. We can up our skills all the time. And I think that's a really important bit of how we push on with the game. But also, I kind of had a realisation yesterday with the young girls that had come into the squad about how I can help those girls with sharing my knowledge to them and help them progress up and become Red Roses as well, as I'm playing alongside them and training alongside them as well. So now I feel like I can help them a little bit more instead of having my full focus, which I still will have that, but also help the next generation come up as well.
You're doing your bit in sort of securing the future of the game and growing it as well. But I know that your Red Rose teammate Ellie Kildan has told our colleague at Sky Sports that girls playing rugby shouldn't be an anomaly, and rugby coaches and players have called on local councils to increase engagement and funding for the sport. And, you know, some councils are doing that. I know the London Borough of Merton being one of them recently, committing money to the game. Your World Cup win, are you confident that that is going to improve funding for the game, get that next generation, the generation after that in?
I do. I really hope so. We actually had Rugby Fest the week after the World Cup, which is where we all went into our local clubs. And I was down at Melksham Rugby Club and spoke to the coach, and he'd said they'd had so many inquiries about young girls wanting to now start rugby.
Capitalise on it, don't you? You need to capitalise on that win,
it just kind of gave me goosebumps in that moment. So I just hope now that the local councils can see that women and girls do want to play rugby, and they want to invest in their women's and girls' teams. Yeah,
it's all about sort of boosting the funding in rugby in the women's game, but also in the men's game as well, in terms of it has been struggling. And there is this new sort of breakaway group that's being talked about, R360. And I know that they're looking at recruiting male and female players. For those who don't know, it's a bit of a disruptor that's planning to come in, a new franchise, men and women's teams that will travel the world, essentially. What are your thoughts on that? Have you been approached? Are you of the mind of, you know, anything that gets, you know, rugby out there is a good thing? Or do you think that the focus should be on Premiership rugby and national teams?
I do think in England, as Red Roses, we have done a lot to kind of create our league in England. Like the PWR is one of the biggest in the world, and I think it'd be unfortunate to kind of have that disrupted. But maybe it would be good to have kind of the R360 invest into that PWR, because we do get players from all over the world, and I think an investment for them into that would be fantastic and only boost it even more.
Yeah, and rugby, well, women's rugby has got a 5-year plan that's only recently been published to grow the game. And just a final question, Scarborough, born and bred, very proud of that. Yeah. And I know that your mum has a cafe on the seafront, but you've not had a chance to go back to Scarborough since the World Cup win yet for a tea party there. Is that in the plans? Because I'm sure the home crowd want to see you back on your home soil.
It's definitely in the plan at some point, and obviously to get back up to Scarborough Rugby Club and see all those guys who supported me through my whole entire journey. So, yeah, at some point I will be back up there, see my friends and family, and also all the support that I've had from Scarborough as well.
I'm sure they understand the life of a World Cup winner. It's very busy indeed. Well, Zoe, thank you for talking to us, and we wish you all the best for the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.